before we begin. If you need English to Spanish translation online, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen and select Spanish. In-person attendees needing translation can see Noemi at the River Center or myself here at One Baxter Way. Shout out MPS. Ms. Demasi, can you please make this announcement in Spanish for us?
Thank you so much, Willy. Muchísimas tardes, buenas tardes a todos y muchísimas gracias por estar aquí el día de hoy. Yo soy Flor Di Masi y vamos a estar proporcionando interpretación simultánea al español. Para poder accesar esta función, favor de localizar el icono en la parte inferior derecha de su pantalla. Una vez que lo hayan hecho, seleccionar español como su idioma de preferencia. Ahora comenzará usted a escuchar la interpretación en español. Cualquier persona que necesite servicios de interpretación en persona pueden comunicarse con la señorita Noemí en el River Center o con Willy en el Westlake Village en la locación de este centro. Muchísimas gracias. Voy a poner estas instrucciones también vía chat line. Thank you, Willy.
Thank you, Mr. Masi. For any public comments, online attendees, please sign up using the Q&A button at the bottom of your bottom center of your Zoom screen. Phone-in attendees, please dial *9 to raise your hand. In-person attendees may fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and then hand it to a staff member. You can hand it to me. Mr. Chair, you're now welcome to call this meeting to order.
Thank you, Willie. I appreciate you all, and I'm happy to join you here from Sacramento with Madeline here in the room. But I'd like to call the 520th joint meeting of the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy and the Santa Monica Mountains Advisory Committee to order for January 26th, 2026. We'd like to start off with a Pledge of Allegiance. I don't have a flag in my room, so I know there's a flag at the River Center, and Willie's figured out a flag here. Okay, so let me ask you to stand, and if I can ask Mr. Luna to lead us in a flag salute.
You got it, Mr. Chair. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll have our land acknowledgement. The Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy holds lands that originally and are still inhabited by the Fernandino, Tatavian, Gabrielino Tongva, and Ventureño Chumash. We honor and respect their elders and descendants as they continue their stewardships of these lands and waters. We have a new administration of oath to a new officer. So Joe, let me ask you, we're going to welcome David Slagan to the advisory committee representing the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Park District. He'll be replacing Bev Dransfeld, and we'll get a chance to honor her a little later, and thank her for her work. And Mr. Slagan, hopefully I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, yes, Mr. Veras, Joe will be late. I will be administering the oath of office to Mr. Schlager.
Excellent. Rory.
I, David Schlungen,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Congratulations, and David, welcome aboard. Next, we'll have the roll call of the Conservancy.
Yes, Ms. Bochco, Ms. Hutzel, Mr. Torres, Mr. Gorell, Ms. Lyle,
Here.
Mr. Luna,
Present.
Ms. Drake,
Here.
Mr. Fink,
Here.
Ms. Munoz, Mr. Ortega,
Here.
Ms. Pavley,
Here.
Mr. Veras,
Here.
quorum is present.
Okay, thank you. Advisory Committee.
James, can you take the roll call?
Yes. Ms. Acker, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati. Here. Ms. Conrad, Mr. Corridori,
Here.
Mr. Dennert,
Here.
Ms. Fossen,
Here.
Mr. Grand,
Here.
Ms. James, Mr. Kishbaugh,
Here.
Mr. Kraut,
Here.
Mr. Lang,
Here.
Ms. Lopez, Mr. Manukian, Ms. Maikos,
Present.
Ms. Nelson,
Here.
Mr. Ordubegyan, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rossman, Mr. Schlangen,
Here.
Ms. Stevens, Mr. Wendler, Mr. Yagparian, Ms. Newsome,
Here.
Mr. Anderson.
10 minutes away.
Okay, well, we'll see you in 10. Quorum is present.
Thank you. Next, we have the introduction of legislative participants or their staff.
Declan Floyd with Assemblymember Harabedian.
Lauren Pizer Maines with Senator Ben Allen.
Okay, thank you, Lauren and Declan. Any other legislative staff? Okay, seeing none. Thank you for joining us. Next, we'll move on to the election of the Conservancy officers. I wanted to take the opportunity since we will have a new chair this coming year to thank all of you and staff for working so well with all the challenges we've had, from fires to just about every sort of cause we can experience and get through to get to a new place. And I look forward to being able to work closely in transition and space. And I know we still probably have a little bit of a question mark in the future of our meetings here. We have lots of opinions, and I'll leave that as my special cause to the next chair here. But I've had a chance to now visit our 3 different locations and know that there's tremendous people at each of these sites that really care for this organization. And so thank you for that. Let me go ahead and conduct this election. I'd like to open up nominations for chairperson of the board. And if it's okay with all of you, I'd like to nominate Miguel Luna here from the River Center.
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for chairperson of the board? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. James, can we please take a roll call vote?
Mr. Gorell,
Yes.
Ms. Lyle,
Yes.
Ms. Drake,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Pavley,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Luna, you ready to take over?
I'll take the wheel from here.
You got the vice chair election next.
Thank you. And before I do, I'll just take the privilege as new chair to thank you, Mr. Veras, for all your work, your diligence. These have not been too easy past 2 years, and you did so with grace, with authority, and you led us. So thank you so much for your leadership. And again, I'll ask everybody for a round of applause.
Thank you.
And with that, we will now conduct the elections for, sorry, see, I should have gotten my script ready. I think we're doing vice chair, is that correct?
Vice Chair, yes, sir.
All right, I'd like to open nominations for vice chair. Can I have a nomination, please?
I nominate Fran Pavley if she was an incredible vice chair for me. So if she's interested,
I'd like to second that. James, are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none. James, can we take a roll call?
Mr. Gorell?
Yes.
Miss Lyle?
Yes.
Miss Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes.
Mr. Veras?
yes.
Miss Pavley?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you were missing my vote, but that's a yes for sure.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, advisory?
Well, Sean's not here, so I am taking over. We'll now conduct the election of officers for the advisory committee. Do we have nominations for chairperson of the advisory committee?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Sean Anderson. I'll second that.
Any other nominations? And James, can you take a vote?
Miss Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Miss Brown, I apologize.
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Mr. Dennert?
Yes.
Miss Fossen?
Yes.
Mr. Garand?
Yes.
Miss James?
Yes.
Mr. Kishbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Miss Michaels?
Aye.
Miss Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen?
Yes.
Miss Newsom?
Yes.
That carries. Congratulations to Sean, if you can hear us.
I can. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I apologize. I'm still 5 minutes out, but thank you.
So next we have nomination for vice chairperson of the advisory committee. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Julie Newsom. I'd second that.
Any others? Thank you. James, can you take a roll call?
Miss Anderson?
Yes.
Miss Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Mr. Dennert?
Yes.
Miss Fossen?
Yes.
Mr. Garand?
Yes.
Miss James?
Yeah.
Mr. Kishbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Miss Michaels?
Aye.
Miss Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen?
Yes.
Miss Newsom?
Yes.
That carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Here and votes yes as well.
And I'd like to interject a thank you to both Sean and Julie as previous officers and the extra work that they put into keeping everything going in the right direction. So congratulations again, Sean and Julie. Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, well, congratulations to the advisory committee, and that moves us on to item number 10, special recognition to Bev Dransfeld. Rory, are you still doing this now?
Yes, is Bev here? Oh, good. All right. Well, Bev has been on the advisory committee representing the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Park District for quite a while. I don't remember how many years, but she has been a faithful attendee and just a shining presence. So we will miss her, but we have a special presentation for her. Out of the mountains. Would you like to say a few words, Bev?
I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone on the Conservancy. It's been such an honor and such a pleasure. A lot of things near and dear to my heart, especially with wildfire resiliency, having lost my own home 10 years ago in the Butte fires up north. So it's advocacy and work that's very important to me. So thank you so much for all that you do and you'll continue to do.
Congratulations, Ms. Stransfeld. Rory, let me know when we can move on to the other item unless there's the other comments. over
I
there.
think we're ready to move on unless anyone else had a comment. Thank you so much, Bev, for your years of service. All right, go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Congratulations again. We're moving on to item number 11, which are comments from members of the public on items not on the agenda and public testimony on all agenda items. If there are any members of the public online and haven't submitted your name in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom screen, please do so now. Online attendees, sign up using the Q&A button at the bottom center of your Zoom screen. Phone-in only attendees, dial *9 to raise your hand. In-person attendees, please fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and hand it to a staff member. Individuals have 3 minutes to speak, while those representing organizations have 5 minutes. Staff will notify you when you have 1 minute left. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak, James?
There's no one online, and Willie, do you have any speaker cards in here? No? None over here in Westlake Village, sir.
You're in this room? None? Steve, over there?
We have none here.
Great. All right. Well, then that moves us on to consent calendar items. Just let me ask, are there any board members that want to pull any items from the consent? If not, we're going to hear all 1, 2, 3, 4 items together. We're going to do approval of minutes, consideration resolution to the LA County Metropolitan Transportation, consideration of resolution authorizing a comment letter to LA County, and consideration of resolution authorizing a letter to City of Agoura Hills.
Mr. Chair, we will let the advisory committee deliberate first. Ms. Newsom, if you want to take it.
May I have a motion to approve the 4 items?
Kraut moves approval of the consent calendar.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Julie, before we vote on that, I just want to make sure I'm not reading anything wrong. I mean, I could read the consent calendar, but Halen couldn't be here tonight and she requested an item to be removed. The Winding Way Path, that's not a part of any of these other things, right?
No,
Just an
sir.
item?
No.
That was already been removed?
It's actually on the discussion items, and so we'll remove it live during the meeting
Okay.
once we get there, but it's not a consent item.
Thank you, Brian.
I just want to say that I will be abstaining from the vote because of item D, which is a letter to Agoura Hills. I represent the agency.
Thank you.
If I may, just a comment on the letter to Agoura Hills. I noticed some editorial opportunities in there, whether to speak to it now or later.
Well, procedurally, we would need to remove that item from the consent calendar to discuss it, and you're welcome to do that.
Well, I'll just make the observation that there's a couple of sentences that don't make sense. I think there's something missing in there, the way it was written.
Okay, we can talk later too.
Yeah, Mr. Edelman can take care of that.
A roll call?
Yes. Ms. Anderson? Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Mr. Denner?
Yes.
Ms. Fossen?
Yes.
Mr. Garan?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yeah.
Mr. Kishba?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Here, yes.
Ms. Mikos?
Aye.
Ms. Nelson?
Abstain.
Mr. Schlangen?
Yes.
Mr. Wendler?
Yes.
Ms. Newsom?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you, Advisory Committee. For the board here, do we have a motion for the consent calendar?
A motion to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. James, can we get a roll call?
Mr. Gorell? Ms. Lyle?
Yes.
Mr. Luna?
Yes.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes.
Ms. Pavley?
Yes.
Mr. Veras?
Yes.
That carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. We're moving on to discussion items, and as alluded to a little bit earlier, we are moving to a later date, the discussion regarding the proposed changes of meeting times from evening to daytime, so we can have a more participation and have a full discussion. And then we're also moving consideration of resolution authorizing grant for Winding Way Trail Restoration Malibu to a later date as well, to allow for participation from our representative from Malibu. Unless anybody has any questions about that, that's how we'll proceed. And all right, so that moves us on to item B in 13, a presentation and update on the Grateful Bench project. Amy, I believe Ms. Lethbridge, you'll be doing that.
Yes, hello, Chairman and members. I'm Amy Lethbridge, the Chief of Staff of the MRCA. And I wanted to take just a few minutes tonight to tell you about a really wonderful public-private partnership between the MRCA and the Pritzker Family Foundation called Grateful Bench. I'll start by saying we get approached with from a lot of people with a lot of big ideas, and they almost always say, and we'll help you fundraise for it. And an awful lot of time that doesn't actually come to pass, and it's a lot of burden on staff. This project has exceeded our expectations in every way. So we were approached by Mr. Tony Pritzker, who is a trail runner and mountain biker and knows the Santa Monica Mountains really well. And he said, you know, I love these mountains, but there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere to just enjoy the view and contemplate the beauty. And what if the foundation funded a project to bring benches to the mountains? This conversation initially happened during COVID, and so we just couldn't deal with it. But ultimately, we started talking. They put together, next slide, the foundation put together an advisory board of business leaders who are also all lovers of the Santa Monica Mountains and active hikers. I want to say about this slide, this is from their deck, and while Joe and I get credit for the MRCA on this slide, I want to give a shout out to Tim Miller from our construction division, Lillian Akuda from our admin division, and Mark Shores from planning, who really are the boots on the ground on the MRCA side for this project. But these folks embrace this idea that we could offer appropriate amenities in beautiful spaces, not just for hikers, but for new audiences to the Santa Monica Mountains. And so we began, next slide. We started with, why are we doing this? We can go back to that last slide. Because it started about views, right? We wanted to have these benches that emphasize beautiful views of the Santa Monicas. But as we started talking, and as the advisory board started hiking to some of our proposed sites, they realized that it was a much deeper meaning. And these small amenities really provided a great opportunity to provide a gift to LA. So now, next slide. So here are the goals of the project: to increase both the number of, we're talking about places that are not necessarily our super popular parks, that are not necessarily parks with big parking lots. We want to increase not just the number of folks who know these places and visit these places, but the diversity of the folks visiting these places. Not just the folks who already know them, but a plan to bring more out. We wanted to enhance the visitor experience when you're on those trails, to increase awareness and education about the mountains in general, and to create opportunities to support this initiative further. Currently, and up till now, it has been 100% funded by the Pritzker Family Foundation. We've not spent a penny of state funds. And that included, and it included from the beginning, a large portion of the donation for ongoing operations and maintenance. Because one of the concerns we had from the beginning was, well, if we put all these benches up there, are they going to get graffitied or otherwise damaged? And one, they really haven't been, but two, we have funding in place should they be. Next slide. So here's just some examples of some of the benches we've put up. The goal is 100+ benches. That's the foundation's goal. I want to say that right now we've only put benches on Conservancy or MRCA properties. We don't expect we'll be able to put 100 benches on Conservancy and MRCA properties. So one of our next steps is to bring on partnerships with other public landowners. And we have interest from Costco and from Rancho Simi. I know I initially sent inquiries out to state parks and national parks to see if they want to join in this effort. Next slide. And here, the green dots are where the benches are now. We want them to be throughout the Santa Monica Mountains, but really throughout the parks of Los Angeles. And we want to make sure we have some that are in closer to our urban populations. So we're looking at everywhere from top of Reseda to Elephant Hill. Next slide. Next slide. So we've done about 10 benches a year. We did 6 in 2025 because, as has been noted, 2025 was a tough year. This is where the 2025 benches went in. Next slide. We also put our first picnic table up to sort of see if it's used, and you know, whether it got damaged. We have talked about other kinds of amenities, again, specifically shade. Because these are more remote locations, of course, there's problems with water and getting the amenities to the place. So those are ongoing decisions to be made. Next slide. One of the big things we've been working on and that is ready to hit the streets this year is the Grateful Bench website. This is the cover of the website. And Lillian, are you gonna just here's from the website, the mission and goals, but do we want to just bring the website up really briefly? Our consultants have done a wonderful job making sure that if you go to this website and pick on any bench, you not just get some interpretive information about the location, but you also get information about how far is the hike in, where do you park, leave no trace principles, anything you might want to know. And it is designed so that we can keep adding to it. We're going to add information from iNaturalists. We have some exciting things happening with Community Nature Connection that I'll talk about in just a minute. So I encourage you to all go to the website at your convenience. Next slide. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So in 2026, we plan to put in 10 more benches, and again, work with partners to see if there are interests. We also have a very exciting partnership with UCLA Health, with the UCLA School of Engineering. The foundation is also looking to have ongoing funding as we expand this project, and one of the first potential partners is UCLA Health. Now, initially, they were talking about financially contributing toward the program. With their cuts from the federal government, they are not giving grants this year, but they are going to partner with us this year on marketing. They're going to pick 10 benches, and they will market to all of their clients and to their students. And when there are big events that UCLA is part of, they'll be advertising the Grateful Bench Project, which is really an exciting opportunity to bring new audiences to these places. Next slide. We also have a bench design challenge with the School of Engineering at UCLA. This is a hardworking MRCA employee hauling bags of cement up a trail because, as I said, these are not places where you can just hop off the truck and build a bench. And so Mr. Pritzker and the foundation is sponsoring a design challenge to the School of Engineering to see if they can look at different ways of doing it, different materials, different ways of getting materials in and out. But it's also a way for students to get involved in the bench project. We had another UCLA project where students, as a capstone project, came in and looked at digital media and cell service and how we could market the bench sites, and that was very helpful. So the relationship between the Pritzker Foundation and UCLA has really benefited this project, and I'm sure will continue to do so. Next. So now that we've got over 20 benches and the website is up, in 2026, we really want to start doing a social media campaign to encourage people to explore, maybe run some contests about, send in your pictures of all 20 bench visits. And as I mentioned, partnerships with other agencies and nonprofits. Next. So one of the things I'm really excited about is a grant with Community Nature Connection, again, funded by the Pritzkers, to create a public engagement program in and around the benches. We're going to start with a pilot, but they will be developing some curriculum and interpretive materials for folks who are bringing groups out, and they will be bringing some groups to the benches, alumni of some of the youth programs, some of the community groups they work with, so we can both get the perspective of maybe non-traditional park users of this bench experience, but also so that we can, just increase the audience and diversify the audience. So I'm really excited to bring CNC into the fold on this project. Next, I think that may be the last slide, actually. So I'm here for any questions. The contribution from the foundation has been over $1.5 million thus far, and they have twice, the original donation was $1 million, and they have twice increased it. They've made the offer. We haven't had to go back to them, so everything's covered. The ability to bring in professional consultants on things like the website, the relationship with UCLA. It's just a fantastic public-private partnership. We're all really proud of it. We enjoy working with the foundation a lot, and realize, now we've got 20 benches in, about time to tell the Conservancy about it. I also want to, is Lauren Nichols on? I don't know if she's on. She's the executive director of the Pritzker Foundation, and I just wanted to recognize her. She's going to try and join us, and again, give our biggest appreciation. It's exactly how a public-private partnership should be, and we're all thrilled. Any questions?
Amy, I just want to say, I'm a friend of Lauren's and we work together. And so when you first started your presentation, I took a picture of it and texted her telling her that you were singing their praises. So
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Lethbridge. What a great opportunity to showcase public-private, and thank you for your leadership on this. And of course, the Pritzker Foundation for stepping up on such a great project. Almost, it's such a catchy name too, the Grateful Bench. I almost kind of, yeah, okay, some people are laughing, they get it, okay. Any questions here at the River Center? Thoughts? No? At the MPS location?
Yeah, I think we have George.
Yes, thank you, Sean and Conservancy. As mentioned, this partnership is more than just what you read about, big foundations giving money and they disappear. You don't, you appreciate their donation for sure and what they've contributed. But this foundation, the Pritzker Foundation, is really a great participant. And as chair of the MRCA, we've had a number of individuals from the foundation on either via Zoom or whatever, present information, and they're really into it. They're just not, some long way distant organization. And they, at one of our meetings, asked, how are we going to determine if these benches are really used? We need to count them and so forth. And me, with my engineering background and engineering mind, I said, well, we've got to develop a bottom counter. So every time somebody sits on a bench, it's recorded and it's sent and so forth. It got some laughs, but it also got from, I think it was Pritzker, a positive comment, maybe look into something like that. But it's important to know that what they're doing is being utilized and appreciated by our public. And because that's what we're out there for, is to serve our public and share all the beautiful open space and so forth that we have created. So this is a great, and Amy, thank you so much for your presentation. This is really a great project to put your hat on and salute it. So thank you.
This is the fun stuff. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Lethbridge.
Couple
more questions here.
Yeah, thank you. So to George's comment about tracking use, I think if there is some social media hashtagging encouragement at each of the benches, because people love to post themselves, and so you could probably get some tracking that way.
Yes, we're discussing all of that, but you're absolutely right. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yes, one more question, or maybe more questions. Private individuals, Rory, I was approached last year about someone who wanted to sponsor a bench, get a bench. Anyone who's interested in that would be contacting the organization to look into that, or are these only big foundations you're interested in?
No, we're still developing that program, and Rory can tell you we get those calls a lot. Often it might surprise you how much it costs to put in a bench, and again, there's ongoing operations and maintenance. So ultimately, we would like to fold that into this project. We're just not there yet.
Thank you.
This is Sean. I'll just say that, yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. Thank you to the foundation and all the great work. Just Friday, we were out sampling fire soils and sat down on a bench with not one of their benches, but another bench. And I'm reminded that in many times, both in good, wonderful, watch the sunset times and also stressful times, these seem to be natural aggregators of folks and natural coming together places. And so I think the more of these we can have, the better. And I think it's a fantastic gift. Any other questions here on our side? Brent?
I just had a comment. I wanted to give a shout out for those of you who don't know Tony Pritzker. He was, I'm looking at Kirsten, but very engaged and president of Field of Bay for many years. He works quietly behind the scenes and gets things done. He's really quite an amazing public policy person. And he also has been, he established the UCLA Institute of the Environment, which was the first sort of on-campus thing that brought people from majors in all different disciplines into the science world to work, whether it was on climate change or different things like that. I've known him for many years, and he's really been a tremendous gift, not seeking any recognition, does it privately behind the scenes. I'm sure Kirsten.
Yes, in fact, he was adamant that his name not be on it's not called the Pritzker Bench Project.
That's right. That would be his brother's governor of Illinois is one other little fact.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pavley. James, we good over there?
Yes, we're good.
Thank you. We're moving on to item 13C, which is a presentation and update by Community Nature Connection on Conservancy grant-funded projects. I believe Ms. Gasparic from CNC will present. Celeste?
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Good evening, everybody. My name is Celeste Gasparic, Director of Programs and Training with Community Nature Connection, and I'm here with my co-director, Roxana Aguilar, and we'll be co-presenting on some of the work that we've been doing as Community Nature Connection, funded by SMMC over the past year and a half. So we'll be presenting on two programs this evening, the 2025 Youth Leadership Series program and our 24-25 Wildfire Resilience and Workforce Development program. Community Nature Connection is a nonprofit organization based in Los Angeles, and our mission is to increase access to the outdoors for impacted communities by racial, socioeconomic, and disability injustices. And we do these programs by eliminating the existing barriers through advocacy, community-centered programming, and workforce development. The Youth Leadership Series program contains 3 different programs. We have our Emerging Naturalists 1.0. This is an sort of entry program into youth access in the outdoors. We have Emerging Naturalists 2.0, which builds on the original Emerging Naturalist program, and Continuing Connections, which is our alumni program where anyone who goes through our programs has a place to come back, continue working with CNC, and network and develop opportunities in the outdoor field, and continue to gain exposure and access to the outdoors. In 2025, we completed 2 cohorts of the Emerging Naturalists 2.0 program. As well, we had 15 participants come through each of those cohorts, and we also did 3 continuing connections workshops with 68 participants through this grant. Our Emerging Naturalist 2.0 is a 16-session program for high school age youth. It's taking a deeper dive into outdoor experiences and access to nature issues. During our fall 2025 Emerging Naturalist program, we had 15 youth from Northeast LA participate. They spent 8 weeks together based out of Elyria Canyon Park. They had some fun adventures such as kayaking on the LA River, and they completed a community advocacy project where they brought friends and families into Elyria Canyon and guided interpretive hikes and did art-based projects with community in the park. We did a second cohort of the Emerging Naturalists program based out of Vista Hermosa Park in 2025 in the spring. This program served girls who are local to the communities around Vista Hermosa, such as Westlake. And the program focused on developing collective and individual nature-based wellness practices. We conducted 16 sessions from the cohort at Vista Hermosa with wellness-based sessions, including ecotherapy, tea meditation, sensory exploration, forest bathing, nature journaling, and more. And after the program, we found overwhelmingly that the youth were feeling more physically healthy, more mentally healthy and emotionally healthy, and even spiritually healthy after participating in this wellness-based practice in the outdoors. And the last part of our youth leadership series is the Continuing Connections program. As I mentioned, this program is for alumni of our youth programs. And so when folks go through our programs, we have a space for them to come back and to continue networking with other alumni, to continue their exposure to the outdoors. We do fun and enjoying trips such as attending the Grunion Run at the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium. We did a program at night at Elyria Canyon Park where we ID'd different bugs and learned about entomology at night in the park. We do wellness and beach days. And so that's our youth leadership program, and I'm going to turn it over now to Roxana to introduce the second program that we'll be talking about today, which was our 2024-2025 Wildfire Resilience and Workforce Development Program.
Thank you, Celeste. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for funding us over the last year and a half and actually longer, and also for having us here today. Thank you so much. So for 24-25, we hosted wildfire resilience and workforce development programs, and it's a couple programs that we facilitated. We delivered an integrated wildfire resiliency and workforce development program through interpretive, educational, and hands-on activities at SMMC and MRCA sites. These programs primarily focused on increasing the public's understanding of wildfire ecology, climate-driven changes in fire behavior, health impacts of wildfire smoke, and practical actions that you can take to be more resilient. We did prioritize engagement with BIPOC communities, which are primarily communities that are served in our Northeast LA area and also Vista Hermosa. And then through this grant, participants built meaningful connections to local parks, and they also gained skills, knowledge, and experiences that support environmental stewardship and community resilience in fire-prone landscapes. Next slide, please. This is an overall summary of the accomplishments for all of the programs that we have under this umbrella. We had 2 cohorts of the Outdoor Coastal Access Leadership Program, which served 26 youth. We also had 2 cohorts of a 6-week Emerging Naturalist 1.0 program, which is different from the one that was previously presented, and it served 29 youth. We also facilitated 13 continuing connections workshops for a total of 391 participants. We also hosted 2 California Naturalist certification courses certifying 46 naturalists, of which some of those are actually some alumni from our Ocali program, which we're really excited about. We also engaged, we had 2 Elyria Canyon community engagement events with 232 participants. And we hosted 15 community campfire events at Vista Hermosa Park with 140 park visitors. Next slide, please. This is a quick summary of what we accomplished in our Ocali program. This program primarily focuses on access to nature, wildfire resilience, environmental justice, and watershed education. We hosted field trips to the Santa Monica Mountains, to local parks. We also took the youth on a camping trip to Henry Cowell Redwood State Park and Leo Carrillo State Beach, which they had a really good time and learned a lot. And the youth also created community action projects, which included a community cleanup, which they initiated at Vista Hermosa Natural Park, and they also facilitated a natural interpretation program at Elyria Canyon, which you can see at the bottom on the right. This is actually a map that youth created for Elyria Canyon, and it includes native plants. It also includes places where you can find these native plants throughout the park. The middle picture actually shows you where they're camping. They had a wonderful time, and just, creating community is so important for these young people that join our programs. As you know, Vista Hermosa is in a high-risk community. So having access to programs like this is a life-changing opportunity. Next slide, please.
Our Emerging Naturalists 1.0 program is the first of the Youth Leadership Series, and 2 cohorts of that program were funded through this grant. We delivered two 6-week Emerging Naturalist programs. One was based in Northeast Los Angeles and the other was in Vista Hermosa. And both of these programs had participants feed into the Emerging Naturalist 2.0 program, which means that we got to stay working with some of the same youth over multiple years for longer term engagement. We learned at the end of this program that participants agreed they had an increased sense of comfort in nature, which is one of our big outcomes. And we had a participant share about their experience in the program. Emerging Naturalists has let me feel comfortable in nature and with new friends. I met new people who taught me so much about nature.
Thank you.
We also, for our Continuing Connections alumni program, were able to host 13 workshops through this grant. We worked with 391 total participants, and we delivered workshops on topics such as wildfire resilience, home hardening, cultural burns, environmental career paths, wildfire career paths, ethnobotany, restoration, and wellness. There's a few pictures here of volunteers transplanting fire-resistant sticky monkey flowers at our Kutet Learning Nursery in Elyria Canyon Park, volunteers removing invasives on a workday at Rainbow Canyon with our partner Test Plot, as well as our fire resilience workshop and ice cream social at Elyria. We also delivered 2 California Naturalist certification courses through this grant in fall 24 and spring of 2025, and certified a total of 46 California naturalists. The courses incorporated themes of traditional ecological knowledge and wildfire ecology and resilience. Our naturalists participated in community science projects, fire ecology and urban ecology field trips, and they each designed a final stewardship project. The participants who were certified received their certification from the University of California as a California naturalist. And we have a quote here, I'll summarize, but this course really helped ground me into place history, appreciation of Southern California, learned so much from guest speakers, and can see transferring that knowledge into future volunteering, work, community building. I really valued the focus on traditional ecological knowledge and the importance of learning from a diverse range of scholars. And these are just a couple of the many stewardship project examples. One participant focusing on their time during the fire ecology field trip that we led at Elyria Canyon, and they were inspired to create a trail map and a trail guide of some of the plants you can find and the way that you can identify them, particularly in the fall season. And another participant who made what I thought was a very beautifully designed trail guide for the Claremont Wilderness. Back to you, Roxana.
Thank you, Celeste. For our Elyria Canyon engagement program, Elyria Canyon Park is located in Northeast Los Angeles, as you all are aware of. And we host several volunteer opportunities for community members to come out and help us restore the land. Volunteers in the last year transplanted 100 native plant seedlings and cleared invasive plant species around the barn area. It's a big park, but we targeted the area around the barn at a 100-foot radius. And community members engaged in the removal of fire fuels, including invasive species such as castor bean and black mustard. And, also participated in education workshops around the benefits of native plants. And next slide, please. Our last program that we're sharing here today is our Vista Hermosa Engagement Program, which was a 9-month community resilience program. We engaged community members at the park, and we actually hosted a campfire, which was a very unique way of engaging with community members. And we also held workshops around how to have safe fire practices in nature and adapt in an emergency. We also handed out over 50 emergency preparedness kits for community members. There are a lot of apartment complexes in the area, and we just want to inform people what to do in case of a fire, how to evacuate your home. We also connected people to home hardening workshops through the RCD. So, and I do want to just recognize our staff who have worked so hard on all of these projects, and continue to engage community members even after this funding ends. We're still continuing to engage community members. So, next slide, please. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, and I'll pass it back to Celeste.
Thank you. That's the presentation.
Thank you so much. Really wonderful work taking place. I really appreciate the thoughtfulness in the workforce development. I'm wondering, do you track participants and after they've gone through a program on workforce? Is that something that you all do? Or
Yeah, through our Continuing Connections program, we do get to invite participants back to come out to some of our workshops and catch up with them to see what they're up to after they've gone through our programs.
That's great. Good.
Yeah, Miguel, and thank you for that question. I think it is really important to stay engaged with young people after they've left the program. We have a few folks who have gone on to work at Northeast Trees, work at different jobs, and also a lot of them are attending college or vocational programs. And interestingly enough, some of those careers are not in the environmental field, but I think this program is a huge motivation to engage in something different. And yeah, they enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's important to be able to tell the narrative of going through this program and, what they do with it. And you're right, they don't have to end up in the environmental field. I think if they end up in business, just the fact that they've gone through an environmental program, that's something that they have as a base for whatever they do. Any questions here at the River Center for our presenters? Yes, Ms. Brown?
Yes, I'd like to ask if you have a chance to work with teachers in relationship to your program, because at each grade level in the state of California, there is a science curriculum, and some of them do work directly with environmental issues. I know because I give a slide presentation on bats to the 3rd graders, which is in their curriculum.
Thank you so much. Yes, we do. We have partnerships with teachers at Sotomayor High School, which is a couple, like about a mile from the River Center. And through this project, we've actually partnered with teachers at several public high schools around the parks. So in Northeast LA, Sotomayor, Franklin, at Vista, it has been Roy Ball, a lot of schools that surround the park. And yeah, it's very important to have that connection and to bring it back to the classroom. We have another project that we're working on where we're tying it back to the classroom, but in this one, it's more connecting with them to do outreach and engage their students. And we've gotten a lot of support. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Roxana. Can I call on Vice Chair Pavley and Mr. Anderson over there at the other site to see if there's any questions or comments?
Yeah, I think George has a.
Yes, for you old timers, you may remember that this group, youth groups, was part of the MRCA. It was a department of the MRCA, and Amy can correct me. I think it was around COVID when you split off into your own community nature connection. Is that correct, Amy?
It was prior to COVID.
Prior to COVID? Well, anyway, it's taken on a great life of its own under the leadership of Amy and others and a great board and so forth. And what it does, reaching out and touching so many youth, individuals who normally would have no idea about the open space and the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy and so forth. It's just a super program. And I know when I was more involved, when it was part of MRCA, that the parent, when I go to various events and there would be some parents, attending also, and how much they thank, a number of times they came and thanked me for including their children and how much their children have grown and benefited from these programs. So we can be very proud of what we have, we're part of. And Amy and staff, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, members,
Hey,
let me say, I was interested in a new designation that I hadn't heard about, which is California Nature Naturalists or something. Can somebody tell me more about that and what you have to do to get that designation?
The Certified Naturalist Program, Roxana, or
Yes. So the UC California Naturalist Certification is a course. It's administered by partners to the UC Environmental Stewards Program, which is based out of UC Davis, the UC Ag and Natural Resources College at Davis. And community partners such as Community Nature Connection, we deliver the courses. And participants go through lectures, experiential learning. They learn about nature journaling. We do field trips. And each partner has the ability to put their own sort of twist on it. And so we focused a lot on fire ecology this past year, as well as traditional ecological knowledge, and had some indigenous guest speakers and other diverse speakers from the field come and work with our students. And then they can receive or are eligible for 4 academic credits upon completing the course, and they receive a certification through the University of California Environmental Stewards Program.
So is there an examination? How do we know that they learned?
So
To put a fine point on it.
Sure. They do prep work and coursework, and they turn it into the instructor, which is me, and I review it. And then they also do a project. They do a stewardship project at the very end, and they present their final project to the rest of the group.
And Joe,
Thank you.
Joe, I'll add too that the Santa Monica Mountains Fund, the philanthropic partner for the Park Service, is another partner within the Cal Naturalist program. And so for the last 2 years, the SAMO Fund has been running a Cal Naturalist program. And so we've graduated 2 classes and we're about to start our 3rd in a couple of weeks. And so ranger staff teach the different courses, but SAMO Fund is administering the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're all across the state. And they focus on different ecosystems depending on where you are.
There was a trail guide that one of the participants made. It was about 3 slides back. We don't need to go back to it, but it was flipping awesome. And I'm pretty sure, Chair, you could say if I'm allowed to say that in government meeting. I'm not sure. I think so.
That's legal. That's legal.
He's saying it's legal. Anyways, the bright colored one, if I ever get a chance to get a copy of that, I'd love it. It's really awesome.
Thank you.
Like the ability to connect with youth and like show the parks are welcome to them in a vibrant way that translates really easily.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that this would be a fantastic project in any time or any era, especially the diversity of folks that tends to be, I think, more retired folks that tend to do the naturalist thing, and hitting the youth is fantastic. But obviously, in today's day and age, when we have fewer and fewer options, it's important that we make sure that these tent poles still stay erect and fight the good fight to bring more. To bring access to more people. So thanks, everybody. This is great.
Any other questions for Celeste or Roxana? All right. Well, thank you all so much. I've seen the students that come out of it, and it's not just about the content, but how they deliver it and the confidence that it builds in them. So thank you very much for your programs. Really appreciate it. Look forward to your future updates. That brings us to item 13D, which is a consideration of resolution authorizing Proposition 4 fire resiliency funds to the Ventura County Fire Department to implement targeted fuel reduction projects in the Santa Monica Mountains. And we do have a presentation and a recommendation from staff. Rory, would that be you or Lee presenting?
It would be me.
Head over to
Good
Lee
evening, Chair and board members. This is an augmentation to a wildfire prevention grant that the Conservancy granted Ventura County Fire Department in May of 2025 for similar fuel reduction projects. Ventura County Fire Department, in partnership with Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, submitted this grant application to expand hazardous fuel reduction efforts within high-risk wildland-urban interface area of the Santa Monica Mountains. The proposed project covers 146.3 acres of MRCA-owned land across 2 locations, which include Long Canyon parcels near Wood Ranch, Simi Valley, and the parcels near Rancho Road, part of the Conejo Ridge open space near Rolling Oaks and or Thousand Oaks area. So the scope includes a combination of targeted grazing, mechanical mastication, manual fuel reduction, roadside brushing, and ladder fuel clearance. All activities will comply with the statewide fuel reduction environmental protection plan. And then these treatments are designed to reduce wildfire intensity, slow fire spread, improve emergency access, and protect adjacent residential communities and critical infrastructure. So that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. Additionally, Captain Ryan Matheson from Ventura County Fire Department is here on the Zoom to assist as well.
Thank you so much, Ian. We do have a staff recommendation to authorize $649,000 and change from Prop 4. Mr. Anderson, I'm going to throw it over to you to see if they're.
Yeah. So can we get a motion on this one? What was that? Julie and okay, cool. And then discussion. Roseanne.
Yeah, I was wondering if this has anything to do with, you might recall several months ago that there was some discussion about new adjustments to the state fire planning and so forth, where they were going to allow the local fire departments to have input on whether or not you have to have the draconian type things that were proposed in the original plan. This didn't really speak to that, but there for a while, it seemed like there was some headway being made. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with that, you know? You know what I'm asking about?
You're talking about Zone Zero? No, this grant has nothing to do with Zone Zero.
It doesn't have anything to do
No.
with Zone Zero?
No.
Okay, well, that would be something that maybe we could have a future agenda item on an update on stuff like that. Because I think that there's a lot of people that are worried about having to cut down all their plants in their yards.
There are. Any other?
I know I'm in a different category,
Yeah.
but maybe this will help the advisory committee if I could just.
Sure.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak right now, even though I'm a board member, not an advisory member, but I do want to tell you that I was recently briefed by the Ventura County Fire Department on the way they choose some of these grant proposals. And this is not your grandfather's brush clearance. This is, these are very targeted areas that are identified because of the wind behavior, fire behavior, difficult to access in emergency situations. And the work itself is really not bulldozer type work. There is some of that, but it's really, they map it out in advance. They walk it, they map it out, they map the sensitive environmental impact areas, nests, place where animals are burrowed. They map those out, they avoid them, and then they work it by hand around these sensitive areas after they've mapped it. So I just want to share that the Ventura County Fire Department is doing extraordinary work to pinpoint these locations, to use this money in a way that I think this board would be proud to see, and really kind of fulfilling the spirit of Prop 1, which is this fuel reduction in our really most vulnerable kind of interface areas. So I feel really comfortable being a strong supporter of this, and just would share that experience. Thank you.
Excellent. I have a comment here, which is I'm going to support this, and I think this is fantastic. Both this and the paired effort in Los Angeles County. I think this really gives us the opportunity, and I'm sure we can do this, but just wanted to put this on record that once we've done all these clearances and fuel reductions, I would really like to see in the coming years, when we have some brush fires, some activity, a clear test that did this help? Did this reduce spread, time, growth rate, what have you? We really can benefit from some of those studies, and some of that stuff's coming out now from the LA wildfires, and it's quite helpful. And so I think obviously this is mapped out quite well, so I think it should be easy to do. But I really hope that we have those as an archive when those future conflagrations start, to see how efficacious this is.
Absolutely.
And so with that, since I don't say, oh yeah.
Just one real quick question. I noticed, first of all, I am in favor of this resolution, but I noticed in the resolution there was a 25% advance of the funds, and I was just wondering, the other 75%, will that be reimbursed, or will it be advanced on a rolling basis?
Yes, they have the opportunity to request in advance, and the resolution would authorize that. But yes, everything is, typically all the grants are on a reimbursable basis. But I don't know how if the county needs the advance funds, but a lot of nonprofits definitely need to have some starting funds to get going on the project, with the remainder being reimbursable.
That answers my question. Thank you.
I think I don't see any more questions. So James?
I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, there's a comment here from an advisory board member for you.
Please.
This is Caroline from Sierra Madre. I just want to know if everybody knows that California now has a state chaparral plant. It was decided upon and voted into existence last December, and it's the Big Berry Manzanita. And the California Chaparral Institute in San Diego County was instrumental in pushing for this. So we have a state chaparral plant.
Excellent.
Back to you, Mr. Anderson.
Now James, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Aye.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Cacciati?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Mr. Dennert?
Yes.
Ms. Fossen?
Yes.
Mr. Garan,
Yes.
Ms. James, Mr. Kishbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Micos,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen,
Yes.
Mr. Wendler,
Yes.
Ms. Newsom,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
That carries.
Thank you, James. Can I get a motion regarding item 13D, the consideration proposition for fire resiliency funds to the Ventura County Fire Department, please?
I'd like to defer to Board Chair Jeff Gorell from Ventura County to make that motion.
Thank you, Senator. I'd like to move it, please, Jeff Gorell. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Great. We got a first and a second. James, can you take a roll call?
Mr. Gorell,
Yes.
Ms. Lyle,
Yes.
Ms. Drake,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
Ms. Pavley,
Yes.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
That carries.
Great. Thank you. Moving on to item 13E, consideration of resolution changing a Proposition 4 grant to Los Angeles County Department of Parks Recreation to the LA County Parks Foundation for a recovery and improvement of Fansworth Park, unincorporated Los Angeles County. Staff?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and members, you actually conditionally approved this grant to LA County Parks and Rec back in November, pending our Prop 4 emergency regulations. The county had requested we change it to their affiliated foundation because I guess like all bureaucracies, they can work faster through the foundation. So this is basically the same grant, but a different recipient.
Great. Thank you so much. I understand it's just expediting process. So this should be an easy one. Turning it over to you, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, thank you. Can I get a motion from someone?
Second.
Thank you. And any questions?
No questions, just I will abstain again as I did in November because of my employment with the county.
Excellent. And see no more. James, please.
Ms. Anderson,
Abstain.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciati,
Yes.
Mr. Corridori,
Yes.
Mr. Dennert,
Yes.
Ms. Fossen,
Yes.
Mr. Garand,
Yes.
Ms. James, Mr. Kishbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Micos,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Schlangen,
Yes.
Mr. Wendler,
Yes.
Ms. Newsom,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
That carries with one abstention.
Thank you so much, James. Can I get a motion from the Conservancy Board on this item?
I'll move approval.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ortega. James?
Mr. Gorell.
Yes.
Ms. Lyle,
Yes.
Ms. Drake,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
Ms. Pavley,
Yes.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
That carries.
Great. Thank you, James. Item F, as mentioned earlier, was moved to a later date. That moves us on to reports. Mr. Veras, is there anything you'd like to report from last month activities?
No,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Veras. Coastal Commission report?
Not present.
Coastal Conservancy?
Not present.
Attorney General?
No update, Attorney General.
National Park Service?
I just wanted to welcome everyone to One Westlake here on Baxter Way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The screen is massive.
Looks like it.
For those of you that don't know, so this is the building where the headquarters for the National Park Service is. We moved here almost 2 years ago. It was in April of 2024. Yeah, 24. And we had, been almost 25 years at the Hillcrest location. And so we had to switch in our GSA lease and moved here. So we are one of about 13 or 14 tenants in this larger commercial space. We're located on the bottom floor, kind of on that end of the building. And we really love it here. And this building is been very kind to us. And the property management group is wonderful to work with. And so we were happy to make this opportunity available to the board. We look forward to having you here the next 2 months as well.
Well, thank you.
And just one quick update. I often will talk to you about wildlife or vegetation, or nursery operations, but tonight I thought I would bring you a different subject, and that's on paleontology. We just 2 weeks ago hosted the very first paleontology field school that the Park Service has sponsored. So this was an national effort for the Park Service, but the Santa Monica Mountains happened to be the location of the first pilot program. And this was led by a Park Service paleontologist who works in our region. She came and taught this field school for a week, and it was for undergraduate students in paleontology and geology, and hoping to try to get those folks more interested in opportunities working with the Park Service or other federal agencies to add their expertise to our national lands and public lands. So it was a great success, and we had a lot of fun with it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for that update, and thank you for hosting us tonight. State Parks report?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, I wanted to mention I had circulated a flyer to everyone else previously, but State Parks, in partnership with the California State Parks Foundation, is going to be hosting some wildfire recovery volunteer events. They will be in Topanga State Park. The next one is February 7th, followed by March 7th. They're at 8:30 a.m., February 7th, March 7th. calparks.org/volunteer if you want to sign up. Our team's going to be out there doing a couple things. First, we're restoring a trail with the goal of getting public access back to that trailhead through the volunteer event. And also, we'll be removing invasive species and plants that have come up after the fire and replanting with native fire-resistant plants. So if you can come out, that's February 7th, March 7th, 8:30 a.m. Topanga State Park, and the website is calparks.org/volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you
I
so much.
have a question. So I understand offering it on Saturday for most folks accessibility, but for those of us who aren't burdened by weekday obligations, are there weekday opportunities to get out?
There are, yes. So we, thanks to this group here, got at State Parks, got a grant to do these types of projects in Topanga, Pacific Palisades. And so this is just one of those. So there'll be plenty more, both during the day and the week and the weekends.
Sign up.
Yes, I know where to find Jim. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that opportunity. Forest Service?
No report.
Just an update that Mr. Torres, as I understand, has retired. And so we'll need to reach out to Mr. Vance, who's the acting person for the Forest Service, just for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Edmondson, Secretary Director's report. Or Rory? Oh,
Mr. Chairman and members, no report.
oh, thank you, sir. Mr. Lange, Mountains Recreation Conservation Authority report.
Thank you. And as the appointee of the Caneo Recreation and Park District to both the MRCA and the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy Advisory Committee, I'm going to start off with a big thank you to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. If you recall, last fall, we submitted, or CRPD submitted, a request for a grant, and you board members approved a $2 million grant, which went towards the acquisition, as NPS stated earlier, one of their buildings that they occupied was acquired by the Caneo Recreation and Park District. So all of the property, including Fireworks Hill, there at 401 and 403 Hillcrest, is now, it's in escrow, but it's moving ahead with the acquisition process. So CRPD, and actually CRPD started out occupying it with the city of Thousand Oaks. It was a co-occupied facility, as was the plan, where the current city of Thousand Oaks has the Civic Arts Plaza. That too started out as a co-occupied facility. And in fact, that was included in the groundbreaking. And then based on the increased construction costs, as many of these take place, CRPD had to back out. But now we're, as I mentioned, acquiring the property on the hill, and it's very integrated into the support of both the Conservancy and the MRCA. All of the finance and for the MRCA is performed by MRCA staff and others associated with CRPD. So there's a great relationship, a supportive relationship between the organizations. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you so very much. Your support facilitated this acquisition. And unfortunately, I can't show you some photographs that were taken this morning up on Fireworks Hill. I don't know if any of you have ever been to a fireworks display, and Thousand Oaks CRPD, we both co-put it on, but it's a spectacular view from up there, 365 degrees, 360 degrees. And so maybe in the future, there can be an opportunity for all of us to, because they are going to do some work to facilitate people being able to go up there. But anyway, long story short, none of my stories are short, but long story. Thank you, Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, or executive director, assistant executive director, the whole team. And you did get a copy of the MRCA report. But one of the, and it always has great information as you read through it. But one of the things that I wanted to include in the report that was in one of the transmitted reports, it just didn't get printed, is the progress of the Annenberg Wildlife Crossing. And as you know, that's an MRCA project. The contract with Caltrans is with MRCA. And so I was happy to ask Rory if she would write a little report giving us a status of where that all stands. We hear a lot of information via, news stations and so forth, but I thought, being as an MRCA project, we need to, get some of the real facts. So Roy, if you do me a favor and kind of give us a rundown on where we stand with that.
Sure. So as you probably have seen, if you've driven the 101, the main freeway deck is virtually completed. Planting is going on top. It's sort of ready to go. The more complicated part is stage 2, which brings the top of the deck down the hillside and over Agora Road to connect with MRCA property to really create the actual bridge. That is underway now. Southern California Edison and the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District are relocating their lines. There'll be undergrounded SCE lines. There's earth moving that will happen to create the actual slope. But Caltrans is underway. They expect to be completed by late fall of this year. And then we're expecting to have a big groundbreaking, or not a groundbreaking, an opening, hopefully by December of 2026. So it's a joint project, as George said. MRCA actually is has an agreement with Caltrans where we pay their invoices, but the money has actually been raised by the National Wildlife Federation, Governor Newsom, and other state entities, the Wildlife Conservation Board and the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, and a lot of private foundations. So there is a bit of a shortfall because of construction costs and tariffs and rain delays. So Beth Pratt of the National Wildlife Federation is working very hard to accumulate the final 20 million, but we're very confident that will happen. And again, opening day, we hope will be December, and everyone's taking bets, the first animal that'll go across. And although there've been lizards up there, we know there's Western fence lizards have been up there and various birds, so they probably get first billing.
Rory, do I recall that there have been some animals, wildlife, going towards the bridge?
Yeah, on the Agura side for sure, and actually on the north side. So we know that there's a lot of deer that are congregating around the bottom near Vendale Road. And over the years, Park Service has noticed that there are a couple of lions that have sort of perched at the top of the hill and looked, but didn't go over. Unfortunately, there was at least a couple of lions that have been killed on the highway over the years, but.
And Rory, we just month ago or so, caught and collared a new lion right just south of the crossing.
Oh,
So
they're waiting for the green light to go.
Cross and curious.
And I can remember when we were first thinking about a crossing, whether it be a tunnel or a bridge, et cetera, that Paul Edelman, who is at our meetings once in a while, was the individual who was really moving ahead with this project and giving us reports of how many animals and the types of animals that were making the crossing at that area. So that specific area corridor is just not, off the top of the wall.
It's a great update. Mr. Lance, does that, are there additional comments report from the MRCA?
Say again.
Are there additional reports from the MRCA besides that?
That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Santa Clarita, WRCA?
Nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Wildlife Corridor Conservation Authority, Mr. Edelman?
No report.
Oh, he is
Uh,
here.
Moore Park Watershed Parks Recreation and Conservation Authority? Mr.
No
Knight?
report.
Mr. Edmiston, any other?
Mr. Chairman, members, I don't know exactly where this report sits in, but it's all relevant. We've been besieged at Mescal Canyon, not only by the fire a year ago, but by the fires that have been started since then, some of which are political, others of which are not. So we have three entities that are looking to our property at Temescal Canyon. And all of them have a due claim on our resources. Unfortunately, there are only so many acres at Temescal Canyon. And so we're going to have to try to sort that out. And we're in the process of doing that. But just to let you know, the governor's executive order does not give us any leeway at all, basically. All the kinds of considerations that we had under the Conservancy Act have been obviated by the governor's executive order. And that has opened it up to three different entities who have asked for unfortunately asked for the same space. And that space is the portion below, if you familiarize yourself with where the Liz Cheadle dining hall is, south of that, from that area down to Sunset Boulevard. That was the original 23 acres that was acquired back in 1982 from the school district. The first major acquisition that the Conservancy had, one of the first major acquisitions the Conservancy had. And that property has been requisitioned, if you will, by the school, not by the school, but by the, the number one requisition is Department of Water and Power. So Water and Power wants to legitimately wants to replumb and rewire the Palisades. And it needs it. And I don't think there's anybody that disputes that. They need a laydown area to do it, and they need about 5 years or so to do that. On the other side of that ledger is the private entities who are saying we need to have a construction area where we're going to be not only just a lay down, we need to make sure that the concrete and the ready mix operations and all have a place to call home. And ready mix is a big deal in the Palisades now because they're talking about at least 5 years and probably closer to 9 years of concrete application day in and day out. And you don't necessarily want to meet the ready mix truck on a narrow road in the Palisades. So that's another issue. And then finally, the Board of Supervisors has granted $10 million to the YMCA to redo their athletic facilities and their facility, and they want to do a major facility, and they're thinking about the property that they own, now frequently called the Christmas tree lot or the pumpkin tree lot, and that area, and they're looking to do a major effort there using that $10 million from Los Angeles County. But what they need is some place to park the cars. So all of those entities are saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. And we're going to have to try to see if there's a way we can accommodate everyone. It may not be possible to accommodate everyone, but that's the major thing that we're working on right now in terms of the staff to see if we can accommodate everybody's needs. It is definitely complicated by the fact that we do have the governor's executive order, and that executive order pretty much takes away any discretion on the part of this body. It doesn't mean we can't, around the edges, influence the outcome, but it's not up to us. So that's my my report, sir.
Mr. Emerson, all these requests are to happen at the same time. Is that what complicates things? During the same timeline?
Everybody wants it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you give us what we wanted yesterday? That's the answer. We're trying to work that out, and we're trying to work out in a context in which the governor's office does not say we're going to pick winners here. And what we want to do is try to accommodate everyone to the extent we can, and with due respect to the resources of the property. But for better or for worse, the governor has. This is one case in which the governor has wiped away any kind of restrictions on what kind of use there would be.
Is this permanent, Joe, or temporary? Excuse me, Fran.
Permanent.
I'm sorry.
Is it
Permanent or temporary?
Permanent or temporary, a set number of years and then it returns, or what is just open-ended, whatever?
I don't know, and that's probably something that we ought to address. But right now, it's definitely operative. And so to what extent an entitlement given under that special circumstance would last, I don't know.
So the park would be completely closed.
I just want to say, Joe, I sympathize. You know, we went through the same thing with Will Rogers hosting a temporary debris removal site there with the Army Corps, and then at Topanga working with LEDWP and EPA for different projects. So I'm happy to lend my assistance as you develop your agreement to make sure that you get what you need out of it. Although you'll probably, like you said, have to take on a lot of these partnerships, that doesn't preclude you from getting a whole number of park improvements and rent and other monies and you know, trade-offs for it too. So I'd be happy to help you with that.
We'll help. We're very happy to have that help because you were able to straight arm them, and we have not been able to do that. So you know, maybe we need to take a play from your playbook.
I'm wondering, are there any innovative ideas that the community has proposed in terms of alternates for that we learn about?
The community alternate was to create a kind of a memorial based on chimneys and a dead chimneys project, and we didn't consider that to be a priority.
And is there a way potentially that these uses could go in and maintain access to the trails? Or it would preclude that? Like if you could access from Sunset or something?
Well, that would be the hope. The problem is you have big cement trucks, and those big cement trucks are not going to be very conducive to the kind of public access. So we would probably move the public access point further north, closer to where the dining hall is.
Roseanne, did you want to ask? No.
I would like to be, I think I should be briefed on that, so I'll give you a call. I'm the governor's appointment on the Wildlife Conservation Board, and so I wanted to be able to articulate any options
Absolutely.
you have. I'm not sure it'll be helpful, but I want to have the information, so I'm ready. We're getting ready for a meeting in a couple of weeks.
Be happy to do that.
Okay. I know
Thank
you.
you, Ms. Hermanson. Any other questions for staff?
I have a quick one. So I will probably be reaching out to various staff or my students in the next month or so. We just started classes today, which is one of the reasons I was late. But in particular, trying to get some information on our use of drones. So in the context of MRCA firefighting, et cetera. Essentially, the FCC came out with a decision on December 23rd, actually 2 days before December 23rd, that effectively bans the purchase of new drones in the U.S. Unless they're on a essentially DoD list. However, just before that happened, 2 days before, they changed the rules, and they now said any product that comes from overseas is not allowed. So some of our technologies that we use that are made in France, secure products, all that kind of good stuff, allies, are banned, and it's going to be a massive problem. So recreational folks, search and rescue, there are no exceptions. The type of devices that we use to look at fire or look at hotspots, the minimum cheap stuff is at least several $1,000s more, and many of the platforms are 3 to 4 times the price. And this is going to be a huge problem. The FCC is the entity that's doing this, not the FAA or other entities that have managed drones. And we're trying to get a handle on the impact on resource management and this and that. So over the next month or so, I or some colleagues might be reaching out just to sort of understand how we may be using these types of devices in search and rescue and in fire suppression and all kinds of resource management. So that's just a heads up. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson. Any other member comments on matters not on the agenda?
Yes, real briefly.
Please.
Here, I passed around a calendar from the MRCA Fire Division, a lot of pictorial. Oh, there it is. Just keep passing it around. I like to give more people an opportunity to see our fire division in action. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Anyone else?
Yes, please.
Please.
You may recall last year, Mr. Edelman gave a report on the gold-spotted oak borer, and its effect on our oak trees. And today I received an information on some training volunteer training for anyone who wants to learn how to spot it and how to report this information. And I left the information on the back table. I think it would be valuable if everyone could share it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. James, do you think that's something that you can take a picture of and share with folks too?
I can email it to you if you like.
That would be
Okay.
great. I think it's email to all of us. If you could send it to James and James could send it. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other comments here at the River Center or anywhere else? No? James, do we have any closed session?
No, sir.
So by the way,
Go ahead,
we'll
Mr.
make sure that each one of you gets one of those calendars.
Thank you.
So it's pretty interesting.
Bonus. All right, that gets us to the adjournment. Just a quick note that next meeting has been moved to February 23rd in observance of President's Day. And with that, thank you all so much. Look forward to the work ahead. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair.
Faith